I believe that women, right? This is my.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that women, um, when it comes to their financial problems, right? I believe that when a woman really cares about a nigga and wants to try to pursue a nigga or get a nigga to be interested in her for a long term type of thing, when she sees that like potential of a long term relationship, I believe they do not share their financial problems. I believe women share their financial problems with somebody they're about to manipulate, possibly take advantage of, or like, just some short time shit. You know what I mean? Um, what are y'all thoughts about that viewpoint? Y'all agree? Y'all disagree? Y'all think I'm wrong? That's just my mindset on it.
I
I
think
agree.
women historically overshare. I know that, and I know you talked about specifically to financials, but I think just by nature we tend to overshare. So I would think that I think I disagree, right? I think that regardless of that situation, like some women will overshare and tell things like their history, what they've been through in previous relationships. Like I remember being told like you don't talk about your previous relationship because that makes a person gauge your level of like staying power and stuff like that. Like those just things I was told as a woman. So I feel like that's false. Like I feel like women will say those things even when they maybe shouldn't.
Fuck no. A woman ain't gonna tell
I
you
don't
nothing that's gonna
agree.
stop you from talking to her. A woman not gonna tell you nothing that's gonna stop you from talking to her. Not until you locked in or something.
I
That's my
don't think
thought process.
Wait, what's your wait?
I don't think women think
I
that
agree with I
telling
agree
them
with
they
that.
don't have money is going to stop a man from talking to them.
If they think it
Huh?
will, then they will. They're not gonna say it. Is
Shit.
my point.
If a
Damn.
What was the question was women do not share financial um burdens with someone unless they have the intention to manipulate the person. Said.
I just feel like, right, like if you met a guy that you seen long term value in, right, or you're trying to get this guy to be, like you
Mhm.
don't have him yet secured, but you're interested in him. If you
Okay.
see long term value in him, right, you're not gonna share like, oh, you know what, I can't pay rent this month. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
you're dealing with a guy who you don't see long term value in, right, then you may do that, try to get the rent off of him, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
'Cause in my mind, I just feel like the guy that you think is like at a certain value, you want him to think that you're like at that same value. You're not going to share that until after you secure him, which is what Puff was saying. Puff was saying that a girl isn't going to share something that they think is going to make a dude not talk to them until after they get him, and that's kind of my mindset with it.
Um, I okay. I'm gonna only answer from how I move. I wouldn't share that either way. I wouldn't share that with someone I'm secure with or not. Like I do believe some things should be handled by self. Like I don't feel like if I'm going through something that I automatically will go run to the person because I feel like that person would naturally take on the burden if he fuck with me. I feel like some things you gotta handle on your own, like without it being someone else trying to have a solution to the situation. So I agree. I agree with that statement.
So, Rizzy, you
I
like
don't.
the only one that kind of don't agree.
Yeah, I think that people share, especially if you feel like that person, that man is giving you more attention or whatever than other people. I feel like naturally when women we're in that comfortable space, we just share things, we talk. We are communicators. We drive conversation, especially like
What?
that.
what?
Yes, we do.
I
Nah,
But you
wouldn't. I
said you
wouldn't
gotta be in
share
a
that.
comfortable space though. Why you
nah.
I
gotta be
think
in a
that
comfortable
Puff,
space
you
to
I
agree
think
that
not
women drive
sometimes
conversations? Puff, when you talk to
women,
women,
we
right? Do you think
definitely
that
are going
you're
to ask
driving the
the why,
conversation,
the
or you
what, the
think they're
where, and
driving?
the when.
Nah, cause I mean even her words say women don't carry the conversation. The word you use say if a woman feels comfortable. Well, I mean, a guy has to make you comfortable. So that means if we're making you comfortable, we're carrying the conversation.
Maybe we're too comfortable too soon. Like I think that that's the true problem is that we be too
I think that's a
comfortable.
problem. Yeah. I do think oversharing it could be a problem. I have my opinion on that.
I think
I mean,
oversharing is a possible. Oh, go ahead, my bad.
We want women.
Undersharing is just as bad though,
A
because
lot
you
of
may you
women, unfortunately, and I'm not saying this is, a lot of women I know, but I've talked to a lot of women. I feel like a lot of women like attention and kind of sympathy. We're kind of set up to supposed to be vulnerable, right? Like that's how we're wired in a way. So I feel like we do share those problems regardless because maybe we're
nah.
looking for a solution or we're looking for somebody to give us understanding.
But
Men
see,
tend
everything you saying got like exceptions. See, because like you say, you looking for sympathy, so you only gonna share it if you feel that the topic has sympathy in it. Your topic make some people shit to share don't have no sympathy in it. You just look like a bad person, so they
um
may
I
not
think that
share
the
that.
I
sympathy,
think the way a person will tell that story, they would present it to you in a way that would
I
suggest they
think
want
the
understanding.
I think the sympathy thing does apply, or like the oversharing thing could apply. I just don't think that women do that with the financial part, right? So you may share like how a dude in your previous life, previous relationship dogged you, right? Because you're oversharing and you think he's gonna be sympathetic, or you might share something that you're going through like emotionally with your mom or your grandma or something. Like you might overshare to a certain degree, right? But I just feel like maybe this is like a reach of an example, right? But I feel like if you had a nigga who was a CEO of a company, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you had a nigga that was like fucking working the register at the fucking 7-Eleven, right? I feel like the nigga at the 7-Eleven, the way you're gonna view him, probably, right? You're gonna share that you can't pay rent and maybe try to get this nigga right to be sympathetic to pay rent, right? But the CEO of this company, you're not going to share that with him until you actually secure him because you view him at a certain level and you want him to view you at that level. So you're not even going to bring that to him because you don't want to turn him off with sharing that. And that's how I feel like women work. Like it's
Women
too
are great
the more they value the
manipulators,
nigga, the less they're going to share
and
their financial problems until they actually lock in the nigga.
I think that
Oh,
that's
we only
potentially
talk about
part of the
financial
lock-in.
problems.
You
I'm
present
I'm
it.
saying financial problems. I'm saying now if y'all want to talk about something different, then I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to hear it out and get my opinion. I'm saying
I
that
think it's like that with sex though, because you know how I always say I never met a girl that had sex yesterday. You feel me? Like every time I meet
I
a girl,
agree.
I'm like, yeah, when last time you had sex? Oh, I had sex 3 months ago,
Yeah,
four,
that
six
shit
months.
was forever
I'm
ago.
like, come
Always
on, man.
forever.
All y'all, somebody had sex last week, dog. Like
But that's my
somebody
point though,
did.
bro.
All y'all
Like
ain't been.
when you are asking, to my point though, right, Puff? You are asking these girls when they like you had sex yesterday, and they're saying no, right? They're saying no, in my opinion, right, because of how long or the potential of how long they might mess with you, right? They're not saying anything to make you be like, oh, I don't want to have sex with you, right? But in that same breath, right, if you went to somebody who was selling pussy, right? They don't care about telling you they had sex yesterday because the thought is, well, that's not gonna make you not buy pussy because you're gonna buy pussy regardless because I sell pussy, right? But the girl who's not supposed to be selling pussy is going to lie because she don't want to say something that's gonna make you not get this pussy, so she's gonna withhold it. And that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's how the girl thinks about the value you are and how they think about the longevity that they're probably gonna have with you is gonna change the negative things that they tell you about what's going on in their lives, or like how like open they are about the negative things in their lives. You know what I mean? I think, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but I'm just trying to get y'all thought process on my thought process.
If the woman goes to that wealthy man and is saying, look, it's been tough, I'm out here grinding, I'm doing school, I'm working this, whatever, like I'm trying to make sure I'm good, I feel like a woman could be trying to also present herself as resilient or as, grinding, like showing she has that in her, and that could in turn have a positive result. Now this maybe wealthy person is like, well, shit, I understand, I've been there, like maybe I can help you out a little bit. I'm not saying that's always the woman's intent, but I feel like it could be positioned that way where it doesn't make a person look bad. However, if you had sex with somebody yesterday and you're in my face today, there's no way I can make it look good. Like there's no jazzing up to that. It's just like, okay, you kind of
I
out here a
just
little.
think if a woman does that to the wealthy man, she doesn't look at that wealthy man as like we're potentially going to be together long term. She looks at that wealthy man as somebody that's going to be seasonal, somebody that's going to be around right now, somebody that maybe she's going to deal with until it's just over. Like she's not
She's
really.
looking to connect to that man. She wants that man to sympathize or empathize with her situation.
I think that wanting somebody to sympathize and empathize with you is different from looking to connect. Because looking to connect would be what we have in common, some of the similarities, things like that. We're connecting
That
on.
is part.
I'm a,
That could be part of the
I'm a
connection. If
wealthy
that's
man. If I'm a wealthy man, I probably don't connect to you bitching and complaining about life and getting through life and doing what you got to do to get to it. Because I would feel like most niggas that's up is not gonna like. I look at you know why I
They
think
might
that.
look at for somebody to be more stable.
Yeah, I look at churches like you know why to me
But
churches
on this same show,
Christianity is
we
more of a
talked
religious
about
thing.
how men historically get women and completely take care of them and sit them down and housewife them now. You know what I mean? Because they're in a position to do so.
But
I do
women
think
was
it's
also in a
men that
position to
exist
shut the
like
fuck
that.
up too, though.
But we don't want you to be bitching though.
Yeah,
Like, we
women
don't
was
want
in
you
a
to come
position to
across
shut
weak
the
or
So,
fuck
nothing.
up.
so
Like, you
it's
don't have to be weak
bitching
either,
if
though.
I'm saying like I'm out here doing the best I can, blah blah blah. Like, is that's bitching? I thought
I
that's
mean, we
just
don't want you to
me.
be weak and shit like that. Like I remember like
No, I'm not weak. I'm doing it, but I'm. It's just the ends
well,
just
just
not
do it though,
meeting.
because everybody has to do that. So do it though, because like I like one thing that T said when he was on the show, right? T was talking about how like um um you could take like you take like a nigga like fucking LeBron, right? Or hypothetically like a Kobe or something, right? Kobe had to wake up every day. His dad had him on a strict schedule. And you're gonna do this, this, and this, and this, and this. It's minimal time for fun, right? And you trying to be great. You trying to be great. So we're gonna keep being on the steady path. And there's not no playtime, not no jokes. It's just hey, grind, 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 grind until you get where you at, right? And then the woman that's trying to do that same thing, all she want to do is have fun and fun and fun. She don't want to have that same like die hard schedule because all she want to do is have fun. And at the end of the day, whether she makes it or not, right? At the end of the day, if she doesn't make it, she could just get a nigga that made it. And nobody gives a fuck that she didn't make it because she got a nigga that made it. But when a nigga don't make it, his life is going to be different forever. He can't just turn around and go get a bitch that made it because he didn't make it.
So to the point is is it not successful in some cases when women share those things and then
I
men
just
pick
think
them
the
up?
expression of it is different, right? I think that like the reason why people would say that Christianity is more of a woman's religion, right? Is because when you watch and I'm just trying to tie these together. Maybe this is a bad example, but I'm gonna try to tie it together. The reason why I think people say Christianity is more so women's religions, right? Is if you watch like shows like Good Time, right? The mom on Good Times was very religious. The mom on Good Times didn't go make no money. But every time they needed money, she just thought God was just going to give her the money, even though she didn't work. With James, every time he needed money, he went out to get the money because he's less religious. I got to go get it. And I think that's the difference, right? Like, so when you talk about the nigga that's wealthy and the girl that's trying to get wealthy, right? I think there's a part where the nigga is like, bro, to be wealthy, this is what it takes. Don't complain, just get it done. And the girl is like, well, I'm trying to get it done, but I'm going to complain along the way. I'm going to vent along the way. Where the man is like, bro, it don't take all that. It's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just sharing my thought process so y'all can critique it or tear it apart or bring it up.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I feel like, look, some shit as an adult you gotta fucking figure out. Some shit I feel like is not necessary to share with your partner where it now becomes their burden. Sometimes you gotta figure that shit out. You fucking grown. Get to it.
That's
Get
I
that
think it's
shit done.
different too talking about partner and somebody that you're talking to as well.
Or
Like that
somebody you talking to. Yeah.
I feel like that does matter because we're talking about specifically in this somebody that you're just like talking to or just starting to I guess date. Is that my understanding as
In
well?
my, in my viewpoint, yes. I think that in my viewpoint, yes, you're trying to secure. It's the difference
He said
between
secure longevity.
it's the difference between trying to secure somebody and just this is somebody that whatever can happen with, right? I'm not thinking long term, right? So these two things get treated differently, right? When Trina says that she don't feel like she would share either way, right? I just feel
Or
like
what?
met if she was in a situation where she met the successful rich nigga, right? How you say it, right? I don't think she would say, "Oh, because this nigga has money, if I got these financial problems, I'm going to share these financial problems to get him to relate to my grind or hustle because I'm doing this, 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 and the third, right?" I would think that
You don't
Trina
think
would
in that
say,
instance,
"Hold on,
Trina,
let me
it
finish."
would be uncommon for you to share to that person like that you're getting to know and talking to, like, shoo, my child got this coming
I
up, and
think
I
I
gotta
could.
make
I
sure.
think you would know my day to day, but I don't think it will ever be a conversation of me not being able to handle shit that I'm supposed to handle.
I
Like
think the
But that's
that
still
that wouldn't be
sharing
a
a certain
conversation.
level of. of
But that's
status, right?
different though, because I
No,
feel like
I think the showing the level of
it's
status or the
different.
showing the level of like we on the same page would be like, yes, instead of saying, hey, I'm having a hard time getting this done, this done, this done, she would be like, hey, I'm successfully doing, I do this, I do this, I do this.
Yes, that would
I'm
be
not
the
saying
I
difference.
gave
saying
that
it
in an
right.
example.
Traditional
The
would be
woman
like, oh, you
expression,
do
I'm
this,
in
this, and
school,
that.
I'm doing 2 jobs.
But
No,
I
but
don't think I would ever go
that's
to the
different
point of
than
bringing a financial. I don't think I would ever have a conversation of me saying that I'm struggling with whether with the
like
status that
making a
I got.
struggle and making it an accolade is two different things. I feel like
Yes.
to make it an accolade would be what he would be with the rich guest person, right? Would be like now we have a relatability. You do all these things and it's an accolade, and I have done all these things and it's an accolade. Now when you're saying you're struggling to do all these things as if you're on the breaking
That make
point
me
of
question
failing to
if you're
succeed,
able to. Right. I
I
think
think
for
that's two
me,
different things.
I wouldn't share that because it puts a thought process of, are you able to be stable? Are you able to be able to do these things that you're supposed to do as a grown ass adult? I don't think I would ever have a conversation of shit, rent past due, a bitch struggling like that. That's nothing I would ever share. A bitch gonna do what she gotta do to make sure that rent get paid before the next month come. I don't think I would ever have a conversation like that. I think we would definitely have conversations of, he would know my routine, like, oh, he know I'm a single mom, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That's just like he said, to be able to relate, like, okay, I see what the fuck you doing, you handling your business, you getting this done, you getting this done, you getting this done, you getting this done. I don't think I would ever share like
Am
a
I not
struggle
showing that
But
I'm
it's,
with
getting
you.
things?
ain't this supposed to be like a new relationship though? I thought like new relationships, it ain't supposed to be like no negativity and shit. It's supposed to be like all positivity in the new
But
relationship.
that's to my point though, Puff. I think that if you are trying to
Mhm.
secure a new relationship about somebody that you see a longevity, like all right, let put it this way, Puff. Me and you both been homeless, right? If one of us was trying to get this dime ass bitch, right? Now, when we trying to get this bitch, right, we're trying to pursue her, right? Now, we're gonna not let her even realize that we're homeless, right? Now,
For sure.
compared to this chicken head that's just out here sucking dick, I don't give a fuck if this bitch know I'm homeless or not.
Mhm.
That's what I'm trying to say, bro. I feel like it's how we look at this person and how long we potentially see them being around and the
And I
value of
see thing for me too. I feel like only way I would have that conversation is if it impacts that other person. If it's a me problem, it's a fucking me problem. I'm not. That's not a problem for you to have to solve. It's a fucking me problem. I feel like only time I will be having that conversation if it will personally impact you. If you're in my life, then I will then have to have that conversation. But if I got my own responsibilities, then I gotta handle them with whether I'm with you or if I'm not with you. The shit got to get done because I'm a fucking adult. Like, just got to get that shit done.
y'all think if you value a nigga, you could tell a nigga your problems and see if he pay it, but you could also risk losing a nigga, right?
Even
But the
let's
nigga you
take
don't
away
value, you don't
expecting
care if
him
he
to pay
get an
it. Just
attitude about it or not and leave. If you don't value the nigga, if he get mad and say, "Well, I'm not dealing with you," you don't even care because you didn't value him anyway. You don't care. Like you just go about your business. But the nigga that you like, I'm trying to get this nigga. You gonna care about like what he think about you, his response to things you're saying. So you're gonna share differently, in my opinion.
I think if it's that type of woman, she gonna care regardless. If somebody says something hurtful, that's why somebody you don't know could potentially say something to you just by a few moments of interaction with you and it sting a little bit. So I think even for that person you don't necessarily value more, if they say the right thing, I think it could have the same effect.
I think that's a woman thing.